Welcome to You Can Call Me Goddess because you're so much more than a queen. My name is Manuk Vink. I am a trained intuitive energy healer specialized in transforming your body and your life. In this podcast, we are going to be diving into everything to unlock the goddess that you are within you. Think of it as the ultimate glow up from the inside out. It's time to unlock your power. It's time to unlock your magic. So sit back and enjoy the show. Hello guys, and welcome back to another You Can Call Me Goddess podcast. I am so excited to dive into this topic today because it was actually something that was on my mind, and then one of my listeners actually reached out to me and brought up something that ties in perfectly with this topic. It had to do with not the last podcast, but the podcast before that, the one about being sexually attracted to yourself and how that can change everything and fix intimacy or help fix intimacy in your relationship, but also create so many other amazing things like becoming more magnetic to opportunities, money, your dream body, everything. So it's very powerful to be sexually attracted to yourself. If you have not listened to that podcast, go and give it a listen, and then this will all make it like a well-rounded story and make a lot of sense to you. Because I actually already had on the list of things that I wanted to talk about with you, I wanted to talk to you about this topic in particular because it is something that I am also applying to my life right now because it's something that we all struggle with. So let's dive in. What I want to talk about today, basically, I'll start it off with what this listener mentioned to me. So basically, we can sometimes feel super attracted to ourselves, see our beauty, see our strength, apply the tools and the things that I suggested to you in that previous podcast about being sexually attracted to yourself, and see the benefit of that, right? You can see the benefit of men desiring you more, your partner desiring you more, you're becoming more magnetic to certain things. But what if you realize, and I'm not unfamiliar with this scenario or situation, which can be surprising sometimes because you can be like, okay, why is this happening? Well, I'm going to explain to you exactly why this is happening. What if that is all working? You're applying the tools, you are becoming super magnetic, like you put on some crazy perfume that is making your man drool over you. But now you're in a situation and you're not attracted and you're not interested in being intimate or feeling attracted to your partner. This is something that I am not unfamiliar with. I have never experienced this, but I have now actually experienced it for the first time where I didn't feel like, hey, I have this attraction, I have this desire, I have this want. And it can be a very weird thing because you're like, but I do want it, but why don't I want it? It's like this weird feeling of like, what is going on? So I know this feeling all too well. So what is going on here? Well, we're going to dive into that. And I want you to understand this because there is so much more, again, to this and understanding this. And I want you to start realizing through these podcasts, through the content that I give you, that you are literally the creator of your own life. When you start understanding that everything that is happening in your life is by your creation, by your design, you start realizing how much power you actually hold. But when you're not fully understanding what is happening or what needs to shift, that makes it difficult. And when you have the tools, that's when you really can start to transform your life and other people's lives, because that is the power of this. When you start figuring this out, you are going to start showing people how amazing life can become, and you can bring these people to a higher frequency and start showing them this. And I know you guys are able to do that, and that is also why I want to get you guys to the next level of this stuff. Anyways, let's dive into this specific thing. So now you're magnetic, right? The men are drooling over you, your partner is drooling over you, but you're not feeling attraction or desire and this could be either to your partner, this could be to certain tasks, to your job, to your life. Like you're just not feeling it. You're just not feeling it within yourself. Like you can see and feel you're sexy and feel you're magnetic, but everything else just feels kind of undesirable right now and kind of like, ugh, I don't feel it. Or maybe you only feel it with your partner, even though you can be fully attracted to your partner, but you're not feeling drawn to your partner or to any of these things, right? So what is going on here and what is the grander scale? When these things are happening, what I want you to start understanding, and by now you should have a clearer understanding of how reflections kind of start to work, right? So reflections are a mirror of where there is an imbalance. And so where the imbalance shows up or where you notice it isn't always where it exists. So for example, when you're experiencing this lack of attraction or this lack of desire for a partner, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the issue lies. It actually means most likely the issue lies somewhere else. And this is just the only way that you're going to understand that there is an issue because it's in your face, right? You can't ignore it. You want to change it. But what we start doing is we try to tackle these situations by maybe going to how would you say, like a sex therapist, right? Or like just a a couples therapist, or you start wondering, maybe you start even thinking, oh, maybe, this relationship isn't it for me anymore. This is the issue, because the problem, what happens is you start blaming it on things that are not actually the issue. And when you start when this starts to happen, you can maybe set your life back in a way that holds you back from fully stepping into your power because you're not actually understanding what is going on. So we end up ending a relationship that could have been the relationship of your dreams, but because you think there's an issue there, which actually has nothing to do with your partner, but solely has to do with something that you're struggling with. And that's one of the issues nowadays as well, right? Like there's a lot of us that when things go south, because of society, because of our programming, because of everything and how easy it's being made, we end up ending a relationship or not wanting to be in one, or we settle, right? We settle for something less than what we actually want or desire. And we don't live our life to our fullest potential. We maybe throw away the partner of our dreams without realizing. We maybe set ourselves back in achieving our fullest potential. We maybe set ourselves back in stepping into our soul path, soul pull, our destiny, what we're meant to be doing here, because we're not understanding the laws of the universe. We're not understanding what this reflection is communicating to us. And that is not your fault, because the majority of us do not have access to these tools or don't know where to find these tools. That is why I'm going to help you get these tools. I'm going to start getting you to up level and understand. And the crazy thing is this shit really works. And I want you to start seeing, when you start applying this stuff, how many things start to shift. It is actually insane. So back to the partner situation. You're maybe about to end the relationship. You're like, the attraction is not there. Or you're just getting frustrated. Or you're like, why am I not feeling it? You're like, what is going on here? Look at the situation. And I want you to start wondering, okay, what is this situation making me feel like? And then start going to other areas of your life. Where am I feeling the same way? Right? So that is always one of the first things that you start doing. But I'm going to give you one of the key things that you can start working on that is going to make a massive change in your life today if you apply this correctly. There is this thing, one of the laws of the universe, which is called the law of all. The law of all states that you have everything already. So if you want desire, you have desire already. If you want abundance, you have abundance already. If you want to make 10K a month, start seeing, first of all, why you want that 10K. You go, or 20K, whatever the number is that you have. I want you to think about, what is it that will give me? And then you're probably going to get safety, security, freedom, blah, etc., etc., etc. You already have those things. So the law of all states that everything that you desire, you already have. But because of our perception, we don't see where we hold these things. And perception is literally everything. When we can shift our perception and start seeing how we have the things that we desire, you start attracting more of that into your life. That is how this works. And you've heard me talk about the law of opposing forces before, which is basically the more you want something, the more you push it away. So when we stop wanting something and when we're neutral about something and when we see the perfection in things, those things start falling into our lap more easily. And I'm sure you know this. The moment you stop looking for a guy that you want to date, they suddenly come knocking. The moment you stop pressuring to find a job, you finally get all these suggestions. You know, the moment you stop, like I had with my body, stop pushing my body so hard to lose weight, suddenly lose weight because I find peace. I find the neutrality in it. So part of that equation is seeing how you have it already. And then I'm going to throw another one in there. All of this is going to change and shift so much for you. What you want from someone else, you have to give to yourself first. So you have to give to yourself first. If you become dependent on somebody else to give you what you desire, that never ends up working because you have to be able to give it to yourself first. Then you're also going to receive it. If you depend on someone else, you're not going to get it. You either will get this unbalanced toxic relationship. A lot of things just go out of balance because you need to be able to realize, that is what I want you guys to start realizing and start implementing and start knowing, is that you are so incredibly powerful. You don't need anybody else. The other person or whoever is in your life is just there to enhance what you already have, is there to up level, to make it better, but not how do I say, the source of what you desire. You are the source of everything. Literally, the feelings that you get when you're around someone are your feelings. You created them. They didn't make them happen in you. You made them happen in yourself. And so when you're in love with someone, right, that feeling of love is something that you created. It's yours. You created the feeling of love. The person didn't give it to you. You created it. The person just unlocked that feeling within you. So I want to share this with you because we often feel like we need the other person to shift or give us something for us to be able to unlock certain things. But that is not true because you are the one creating it, nobody else. So that is something, first of all, that I want you to start understanding. So now going back to that scenario and why it is so powerful that we're talking about this. Okay, so you're not feeling attracted. What is going on here? What could be going on here, and I experienced this myself, is you are lacking an attraction for something else in your life. And let's take it on a grander scale. You're lacking attraction to your life. You are not seeing your life as the fairy tale. You're not seeing your life as your dream life. You are not seeing your life as sexy, attractive, adventurous, amazing. So that is often where there is an issue. And that goes into all components of your life again, right? So the 8 areas of life that we spoke about, the physical area, the financial area, the soul path, soul pull vocation area, the social area, family area of life, mental area of life, spiritual area of life, and passion hobby area of life. All of these 8 need to be in balance for you to not experience any reflections in like all around, which is not, I'm not saying it's easy, but I don't want you to think that you feeling that way over everything and then you're missing 3 areas of life, right? Because we often only look at like 4. We look at health, we look at relationship, we look at financial, we look at career, and then we kind of forget about the rest. So that's why it's important to make sure, or family also is an area that we look at. It's important to make sure you list all of these areas of life and you go through and you see, okay, where where am I missing something? Because even if you're feeling attracted and amazing and like your life is a fairy tale in 4 areas of your life, you're still missing the other 4. You're still missing those areas, or even if it's just one, you're still missing one there. And when you can shift all of them, that's when you're going to get the biggest result. That's when you're going to get the biggest shift, the biggest change. If you've been loving this podcast and you want to supercharge your life immediately, you want to get to the nitty-gritty now, and you don't want to move at a slow pace, tortoise pace anymore, you can come join our free live events. I have the link to sign up for our free newsletter below, or our membership, where you can access free content to get you supercharging your life immediately. Inside these webinars, you can ask all your questions, get more spiritual understandings and intuitive input on how to start supercharging and excelling your life at a rate that has the potential to be game-changing. So if you are ready for this and you want to move at a quicker speed because you have deadlines and you are ready to unlock the new level and the best version of yourself today, then join the free newsletter. This is just for you to start accessing new levels of yourself. It's absolutely free, and you can join on a weekly basis to get even deeper understandings of the spiritual laws of the universe, intuition, and all of the topics that I talk about inside this podcast. I can't wait to see you there. And if you have any questions in regards to any of this, feel free to reach out. I just want you to access the goddess that you are within so that you can start unlocking your potentials at a whole new level. So what to do in this scenario is to start seeing how your life is a fairy tale. How is your life your dream life right now? Think about what your dream life entails. What does your dream life look like? What are the components of your dream life? And then see how you already have that right now. And I guarantee you, because of the law of all, in one way, shape, or form, it is there. And if you're feeling triggered by this and you're thinking, Manouk, what are you talking about? I definitely don't have that. All the more reason to dive into that, because the more triggered you are, the more your ego is trying to protect you and trying to save you from your own emotions. And the more you need to actually dive into what is going on here. Because I kind of see the ego like a bodyguard trying to keep you in balance and if it's not broken, don't fix it type of thing. And trying to stop you from going deeper into what is actually going on. And the ego has the best of intentions, right? The conscious mind has the best of intentions. Unfortunately, a lot of the time it holds us back from going into the root cause, the root area of these things. So sometimes we got to bypass that. We got to bypass what is going on. That is why it is so amazing when you have intuition and you can ask the subconscious mind, hey, what is going on? You can bypass the ego and get clear answers when you're not in an emotional state, because your emotions also get the better of you and can influence your intuitive answers, which is another topic that we will go into on another day. So that really changed so much for me, with me not knowing where to look. When you train your intuition, it opens up so many doors, and you can just bypass all of that crap, right? And get to the root, get to the answers of the questions. But I already guarantee you, when you start applying this, because the universe doesn't respond well to want. When you want something, the universe will give you more of wanting that, right? So that's how you have to look at it. So if the word want is in it, I want more money, the universe goes, oh, cool, we'll give you more want for money. Or if you go, I want more attraction, okay, we're gonna give you more want for attraction. You desire it, you want more attraction, but you're not getting it. I don't even know if that making sense. When I said that doesn't, because want and desire, you get where I'm going with this. You're pushing away the desired result when you do this. So instead, you got to flip it. You got to see how you have it, Because if you say, I have money, you're going to get more of having money. I have too much money, you're going to have more of too much money. I have too much attraction. My life is too sexy. My life is too amazing. You're going to have more of too amazing, right? It's very powerful when you start seeing that, you start magnetizing that more. It's like the magnets, you know, when you have the wrong side facing it, you just push it away. When you turn it around, you attract it more, right? So instead of creating that force field where you can't attract more, you're actually pushing it away. We want to flip it, and we want to start magnetizing these things to us. We want to start magnetizing more of what we want, right? We want to attract that into our life. So that is why reflections are so amazing, because with these scenarios where, for example, you've applied the tools, you now feel super sexy and attractive, and you're getting the benefits of that. First of all, note, well done, your work is working. Don't forget to praise yourself and root to the fact that, holy shit, this shit fucking works. And now that you've got that, you're like, okay, but what am I missing now? Because now I'm not feeling that desire, that attraction. Ask yourself the question, where am I not feeling the desire or attraction to my life right now? You're going to get an answer. Something is going to pop up. So how can you start becoming more attracted to whatever pops up into your mind? Whether it's your whole entire life, whether it's just the one thing that comes to mind, when you start shifting this, you will start shifting your attraction in other areas of life, and these things will start to change. Because if you're not feeling, think about it, if you're not feeling desire for your life, for your environment, for everything that you're experiencing right now, then of course you're not going to feel desire for your partner. Of course you're not going to feel desire for doing anything. You're not going to feel like anything is fun or exciting anymore because you're not seeing the excitement. You're not linking it to the excitement. And there are so many different tools. And this is just like the base level of what we're explaining here. There's so many different tools that you can go into, so many different avenues to lock that in more. But already by applying this and seeing how your life is extremely desirable and sexy right now, that is already a start. Even if you go back to where you were maybe a year ago and think, have you gained something in that year that you wish you had a year ago? If the answer is yes, you are making your life more desirable as we speak. You've gained something that you didn't have last year or 2 years ago. So what is that one thing that you desired that you have now? And start like embellishing in that, start like loving and getting obsessed with that. Like when you become obsessed with your life, not only will people become obsessed with you, but you will start becoming obsessed with other components of your life. So start by making a list of the things that make your life. Incredibly first I want you to think about, what is it that would make my life my dream fairy tale life? And then I want you to start thinking about, okay, what are the things that I actually already have in this? For example, if you are an entrepreneur right now, and you own your own business, you're your own boss. Isn't that sexy? That's so sexy that you're your own boss. Isn't it so amazing that you can schedule in your own time? Isn't it something that you wish you always had, that you had nobody else looking over your shoulder telling you what to do when? That's sexy, right? Okay, now let's flip it. What if you have an office job and you just have a consistent job and you go to the office every day? Isn't it so sexy and attractive and amazing that you have this stability and this security? Doesn't that give you so much more brain space for you to be able to do other things when you desire? When you have a day off, you don't have to think about your business because you clocked out, so you're done. So you can actually fully absorb and take in the day off. Maybe if you were an entrepreneur right now, which I know, speaking from experience, when you have the day off, there's still a chance you're probably going to be doing something or thinking about your work. There is something sexy about both of these things. One gives you freedom in one way, the other gives you freedom in another way, right? Okay. If you are a mom, what could be amazing and attractive about your life about being a mom? You're so needed by your kids. You're so loved by your kids. And that love and that ability to be there for someone else unconditionally is so beautiful and attractive and amazing. You've created these beautiful children, and that is amazing. The way that you are being loved by them. I literally had one of my members say to me in one of our calls, she was like, yeah, my kids are obsessed with me. Isn't that amazing? Like, isn't that just amazing? There you have that component of someone being obsessed with you. And that's amazing. I love that. I have it with my dogs. I know, it's so funny. I said it to myself. I was like, oh, I love how much love and affection I am getting from my dogs. That is so amazing. And I love that about my life, that I get to cuddle with them whenever I want to cuddle with them, that they're just here. They're here with unconditional love for me. Looking at these components and seeing how amazing your life is. Like, even I'm sure unless you're really struggling, then you can start implementing these things. But I'm one of those girls that has my Disney princess moments. I don't know about you. I have them where I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm baking my cookies and I put on like a song and I'm just having my little Disney princess moment and I am high on life, right? That is literally my Disney princess moment. That is me loving that moment and seeing the perfection and the attraction in my life in that moment. Sometimes when the sun is shining and you're walking out and you feel like right now, because it's November, you feel the crisp air and the sun is on your face and you're like, wow, main character energy. I am so attracted to my life right now. I literally made this joke the other day because I was implementing this tool and I was like, okay, how am I going to implement this tool? And I was walking down and it was a beautiful sunny day and there was like an attractive man being a gardener here, like in a tank top. And I'm like, look at me, like living my sexy, attractive life. I'm like the main character in what kind of like a Desperate Housewives show. And here's like the sexy gardener like taking care of the garden. And I just get to like appreciate the view, like things like that. Like, look at how sexy, attractive, and amazing your life is right now. Even think about it, like we often want the other person to do something for us, like take us out for a nice dinner, go to the movies, take us out for a nice spa day, give us a gift. We want the other person to do that. We feel like the other person needs to do that. But let me ask you this. When is the last time you've done that for yourself? When is the last time you've taken yourself out for dinner? When is the last time you made yourself a romantic evening? When is the last time you taken yourself out to a spa day? If you can give it to yourself, you're guaranteed to get it from the other person. But you need to be able to give it to yourself first. That is the key. And seeing how you already have all of that. Like, even if you look, like you could go to the craziest thing and think about, I wish I could travel everywhere whenever I wanted to. Okay, how can you do that right now? I can get in my car right now, and because I'm in Europe, I'm in a very good spot. I can literally drive a few hours and be in Croatia. I could literally drive a few hours and be in Greece. For my international listeners, you could literally drive a few hours and be in a different state or a different country that has the things that you are missing. You have the ability to. That is the freedom that you have. Even if you're in a job right now that you don't like, you can quit. You have the freedom to quit. I'm not saying you should, but I'm just opening up that perspective. And you have the ability to do these things. I catch myself doing the same thing. There's a hotel nearby and it's a luxurious, it's like it's like a 5-star hotel, beautiful. And I see people, I was like, I wish I could spend a night in the hotel, because I love hotels. I love hotels. I love hotel breakfast. I love I don't know. I love everything about it. I love traveling. And I was like, well, if I wanted to, I literally could. So I told myself, I was like, if I wanted to, today I could book a room there and stay there for the night. I could if I wanted to. I have the ability to. Isn't that so amazing, sexy, and attractive about my life? The fact that I have the ability to do that whenever I want to, right? Isn't it amazing and sexy and attractive that my body is strong and fit and I can go for a run whenever I feel like going for a run? Right? I can go to the gym whenever I feel like going. The thing is, we take so many things for granted because we're so focused. And I am not saying that I don't do this. I am calling myself out. I do the same thing because we get so caught up in where we need to be. And that has to do with so many aspects, right? It has to do with so many aspects of life. First of all, the programming that is telling us that by a specific age, we should have a family, we should have a house, we should have kids, we should have a successful career. Just because you're not in your mind there yet, you're exactly where you need to be to take the steps to become what you want to be. Like, this is all programming from the outside. This is people infecting you basically with their thoughts, their fears, their anxiety. And when you have the tools to block out those things and actually connect to what you think and what you believe, that noise starts to disappear. And you start realizing that you are, especially again with intuition, that you are exactly where you need to be right now. You don't need to be those 10 steps ahead. And especially in a day and age right now where everything is on social media and we start fantasizing about other people's lives, but you, first of all, don't know what's going on in their lives. They're just showing you the highlights. And second of all, you can live that life. You can live an even better life with the right tools. But you first got to start making your quote unquote shitty situation, or the situation that you're not happy with right now, when you can start making that situation your dream life, start seeing how it already contains everything that you want and start rooting to that every single day and seeing that how you have everything that you've been asking for already, that's when things start to shift. Because first of all, you're going to start loving your life. Second of all, you're going to start attracting more of the things that you want in that life. Third of all, you're going to start changing other people's lives because of this magnetic tool, people are going to want your life because you want your life. You see what I'm saying? That is how powerful this work is. I want you to start understanding that you have the power to shift and change everything. But it is difficult when you don't have the right tools. And that's why I'm giving you the tools, because I want you to start unlocking these things. Start applying this week. Start seeing how the life that you desire is already here. You already have everything. Start becoming attracted to those unattractive things about your life. The thing that makes it the most unattractive, why is that attractive? Because everything is always in balance. So there is always two sides to it. The best way to look at that is like, think about someone who wishes they were in your position. What would they tell you? That is why I also gave you that example of someone who is an entrepreneur and someone who has a 9-to-5 job. There are attractive, sexy things about both of them. There are components of freedom in both of them. There is something amazing about both of them. So the thing that you hate about your life right now, start seeing why it's amazing. It's allowing you to do certain things that you wouldn't be able to do if you had the opposite. Right? We need to start neutralizing these things and start seeing the perfection in where you're at right now. Because when you can start doing that, you literally crack the code to almost everything in your life. And that is just like scraping I don't even know. Like, that is just, what is the saying? I forgot the saying. That is just even the 1% of what you can start doing with this, what you can start like achieving with the right tools. And yeah, it's literally amazing. It is all about perception. It is all about your energy. And when you can start shifting your energy and doing these things, life starts to change. Life starts to shift to your reality. You start hacking the game that you're playing, because that's what it is. That's literally what it is. You got to start seeing this life as an experiment, as a game. Start tweaking with these things, playing around with them. See, and then when you have the right cheat codes and the right tools, you start creating more of what you desire, and you can start like implementing these things. And that is the most powerful part of it. And this being just a small component of it will already shift so much. So imagine if you have your entire toolbox full. Did I say that right? Toolbox. I said toolbox. Toolbox full of tools that you can literally just open up and be like, what can I try out today to shift my reality, to change the things that I want into something that I desire? To change the things that I want into something that I desire. I feel like that is not a correct sentence. To change the things in my life to something that I desire. And then you can open that toolbox and be like, I'll pick this one today. And then you can try it out and see what happens, right? Because that's how that works. And that is one of the biggest components. So don't feel deflated. Just start approaching it from a different angle. Start thinking about, how is this situation making me feel right now? Where am I feeling that way somewhere else in life? And why is it beneficial for me to shift this? Like, what is it going to get me? And why is this showing up? Because your higher self, the universe, wants you to start achieving the life that you are meant for, wants you to be able to start changing other people's lives with your magnetism, with your beauty, with your power. But first of all, your life, so that you can start seeing how truly powerful you are. That is the takeaway here. The takeaway here is that everything is by your design, which means you can change the design. You just need to understand how. So again, taking it back to lacking attraction for maybe your partner, or desire for your partner. Okay, is that showing up somewhere else in life? Most likely. Well, probably. Almost 99.9% of the time, yes. Because otherwise it's not showing up there. So before you end up questioning if this relationship is the right relationship for you, before you start questioning if anything is wrong with you, before you start questioning, I'm not doing something right, before you end up maybe ending a relationship before it's time to end it, or you start giving up on something, start seeing if you can change and shift it. Why? Because when you can, you'll see how much power you have. Maybe most likely you'll unlock the best relationship of your life, and you would have missed out on that if you hadn't gone through that process and looked into that. And you would have missed out on realizing the fact that you had the power to do that. The other person didn't have to do anything. Only you had to shift that. That is the craziest thing ever. And that just makes you realize how much more of a goddess you are, right? Like, if you have the magic to change how someone behaves around you, and you have the magic to transform an entire situation simply by you shifting your perspective and you rooting to different things and you changing your energy, I mean, need I say more? Like, that is freaking cool. And I want you to start realizing how cool that is. So I would say, homework, do this, look at it, see where is your life sexy, attractive, and amazing, desirable. Like, how are you living in your favorite rom-com right now? How are you living in your favorite fantasy book right now? Like, how are you that main character right now? How is everything that you're experiencing right now exactly that? And I guarantee you're going to find things. And when you start focusing on them, you're going to amplify them more. That's just how this shit works. So I'm excited. I'm excited for you to play around with this, have fun with it, start seeing the stuff shift. Also, please, I love to hear about the experiences that you have and the feedback from these podcasts. I love hearing about it. That's what we're doing it for. It's so that you can start tapping into your power. And if you have any questions, we have amazing free content to dive into that will give you a lot of the answers to the questions. Otherwise, you can reach out to me at info@nukesgoddessacademy.com and I will help you get the answers that you need to start up-leveling your life and getting to that place of, tapping into your power, getting you to that place to tapping into your intuition, having the ability to use all your tools, tapping into the full self-image healing, self-love that you need, and get you the tools that you need to start shifting into this powerful, the most powerful version of yourself, the life that you are meant to be living, that you're already living, but the highest potentials of the life that you are meant to be living. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Thank you again so much for listening. And if you ever feel called to share this podcast with anybody and you feel like it will help them, please do. You might just be able to change a life or change their perspective. And that is what we're all about. Thank you again, and see you in the next podcast. Thank you so much for listening to You Can Call Me Goddess. I am so happy that you joined us in this show today. If you feel like this podcast gave you any sort of life change or value, then share it with someone you think would also get a lot of value out of it, because maybe it could just be that one thing that changes that person's life. If you enjoyed the show, please give it a nice rating below or in the show, because we would love to expand more on topics that you enjoy and keep this podcast up and running. Anyways, thank you, beautiful,